Okay, I want to do some review problems with these first four. Okay, so I need to retype something on here. Sorry about the black screen, it's against the table. Okay, sorry for wasting 30-40 seconds of your life there. This is going to be a two-part assignment. I'm going to make it into one video. When I tell you to pause the video, then you'll go start working on the first part and then resume it. The second part is kind of complicated. Okay, first review. I want to start doing some reviewing you on some percent problems. 18% of the land in Florida is covered by water. Water covers 11,000 square miles. What's the total land area in Florida? After the percent, you see the word of. So you want to put your 18% over 100%. Now you need to label the other side covered by water total. So how much land's covered by water? Well, we know that it's 11,000. And then X is there. So 18 multiplied by X, that's easy, 18X. X doesn't have anything with it to be worried about, okay? 100 times 11,000 is that. Then just divide by 18 and you're going to have your answer. Okay, for you're not talking money, so you don't need a decimal. 61,111. So that's how much total I have. Okay, 20% of my monthly paycheck is spent on groceries. If I make $2,000 in a month, how much is spent on groceries? So 20%, and that is indicative of what is spent on groceries total. Now, by reading that problem, do I know how much was spent on groceries? No, I don't, because that's what they're asking me. So X and 2,000, that must be my total. So you see here, we knew what to put there. Here we didn't, okay? So 100 times X, 100X. 20 times 2,000 is 40,000. Then divide by 100. And that's going to be 400. So 400 is how much is spent on groceries. You don't spend $2,000 in a month on groceries unless you got 25 kids, okay? 2/3 of the animals at the zoo are reptiles. There are 180 animals in the zoo. How many are reptiles? Now we treat a fraction like a percent. We just put 2 over 3. The 100 won't be there, okay? And the top indicative are reptiles. That's in bold, so you know exactly how to label that right here. And then that's always your total. So how many reptiles do we have? We don't know. So it's X and then 180. So 3 times X, 3X. 2 times 180 is 360. And we just divide by 3, and that gives me 120. So you have 120 out of reptiles. Okay, then the last one. A set of golf clubs are marked 40% off the original price. The price is $360 after the mark off. How much did the clubs cost before the mark off? Now after the percent, it doesn't say of, it says off. See here, up here on top, it says of after it. So that's why I knew right away it was going to go over 100. But that 40% doesn't say of after it. So I don't put it over 100. I use my before times percent equals after equation, okay? So we're looking for the before, because that's in bold. 40% off, we take 100% minus 40%. That's 60%. Now move the decimal twice, and 0.60 is my percent factor. Okay, now the after, we have 360. Okay, now we write that product there as 0.60x. You always want to put the numerical fact, the known factor in front of the unknown. Then we divide by 0.60. So 360 divided by 0.60 is 600. So it must have cost $600 before. Okay, that's it for the review. Now, these next problems in this first part of the assignment, I'm going to go over these examples, and then that you're going to do 3 problems. These don't take much time, but you need to do this to make sense of the second part of the assignment. Okay, you're doing speed, distance, and time. I want you to write these 3 things at the top. To find the speed of a car, you take the distance it travels divided by the time it travels. Okay. If you're looking for the distance it traveled, that is the speed multiplied by the time. And then finally, if I'm looking for the time it travels, that is taking the distance divided by the speed. Okay, now, these questions ask me, a car travels 250 miles for 5 hours, find its speed. So I need to find the speed on this problem. Now I know to find the speed, that's distance divided by time. So what's the distance they traveled? They traveled 250 miles, and the time they traveled was 5 hours. So I take 250 divided by 5, and that the speed then equals 50. Now this is how you label speed. It's miles per hour, or mph, miles per hour. That's how speed's labeled. You got to have, when you're finding speed, that's per. Okay, you got to put per. 50 miles per hour. Okay, a car travels at a speed of 60 miles per hour for a time of 4 hours. Find the distance traveled. Okay, so distance equals speed multiplied by time. So I don't know my distance. You can put D if you want. Remember, the speed is the miles per hour, so he's going 60 miles per hour over a time of 4 hours. So the distance, 60 times 4 is 240. Now, when you're finding distance, that's just miles, okay? You don't put a per with it, it's just 240 miles. Okay, a car travels a distance of 600 miles at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. Find the time it traveled. Now, time is distance divided by speed. So the distance is 600 miles. Speed is 60. 600 divided by 60 is 10. So time is 10. Okay. Time is hours, okay? 10 hours. So speed, distance divided by time, remember to label that per with the per, miles per hour. Distance is speed times time, that's just miles, and the time, distance divided by speed, that's just hours, okay? Okay, a car travels an average speed of 55 miles per hour for a time of 2 hours. Find the distance traveled. So I want to know the distance, and up there at the top, distance is speed multiplied by time. So the speed in this problem is 55. Remember, miles per hour is your speed. And meanwhile, the time is 2. So 50 times 2 is 110. And distance, we just label it miles. Okay, 110 miles. Okay, a car travels in a distance of 400 miles at an average speed of 80 miles per hour. Find the time it travels. So you're looking for the time. Go up here. And time is distance divided by speed. So time equals, the distance these guys traveled was 400 miles and the speed was 80. So 400 divided by 80 is 5. 5 hours, time's always hours, or minutes or seconds, whatever, but most of the time it's hours. And then finally, a car travels a distance of 300 miles for a time of 5 hours. Find its speed. I'm going to do it right up here because I'm running low on paper. Okay, so time equals, or no, we're looking for speed, my bad. Speed is distance divided by time. Okay, distance 300 times 5, that's going to be 60, so speed equals 60. Remember to label that as miles per hour. Okay, now pause the video and do 1, 2, 3, then resume the video. Okay. Okay, now the reason I had you doing that is for this reason. These 3 problems I'm about to cover, and you got 2 assigned problems, these are a little bit more complicated, like a lot more, okay? But if you have these 3 ratios, and this is going to be the important one, time is distance divided by speed, we'll be able to handle it. Okay, the first problem says, 2 cars travel for the same amount of time. One car travels an average speed of 40 miles per hour. The other car travels an average speed of 60 miles per hour. The faster car ends the day 225 miles ahead of the other car. Calculate the distance each car traveled. So again, distance is miles. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, if I got to find the distance, I just take the speed times the time. Well, it's not that easy because we know the speeds, but we don't know the time. Okay. So that's a problem, okay? So down at the bottom of your paper, I'll just make a new one, okay? So like I always have on a miles equals blank and blank. Just copy down what I put there, and then don't be making the boxes with the lines. When you're talking distance, speed, and time, you're going to make this chart right here, okay? You're going to split it in 3 parts. You're going to have your speed here, and you want it in this order, the distance and the time. Now put fast and slow. That's how we're going to talk about these 2 cars. Speed is your miles per hour. You know the speeds. They tell us the miles per hour for each car. One car's 40 miles per hour, the other car's 60. So our fast is going 60, slow is going 40. Okay? So 40 and 60 will not be used again in the table. Now what do we know about distance? Remember, distance is miles, okay? So when I look at miles, I see 225 miles, but all that says is the faster car ends the day 225 miles ahead of the other car. So that means ahead. Ahead means more, okay? So with the fast car, put a plus 225, and then you're going to fill that in with X, because you don't know really what it did, and this is going to be X. We don't know either one, but we know this one's 225 miles ahead of this one, okay? Now the time. The only thing we know about the time is that the times are equal. They travel for equal times. Now how can I write time? Time is distance divided by speed. Now for this car, for distance, I have the expression x plus 225, and for speed I have 60. For this car, I have the expression x, and the speed's 40. Now I line those up, just these 2, and set them equal. So x plus 225 over 60 equals x over 40. Now I solve. So I'll go here, 60 times x is 60x, that's easy. But here the x has something with it, so I put the 1, I take 1x times 40, and then 225 times 40. So here, it was just 1x times 60, 60x. Here I take 1x times 40, 225 times 40. So it's going to be 40x. And 225 multiplied by 40 is 9,000. So 40x plus 9,000. Now, we got x's on opposite sides, so I go here, plus 40 minus 40x. So that's going to give us 20x, 9,000. So now I divide by 20 and I have my answer for x. $4.50. Okay, go up to your table, because remember we're finding the miles, that's the distance. Cross the x's out and put 450. So the miles here is just 450. And for the other miles, I take 450 plus 225. Okay. 675. Now I've solved the problem. Okay, next problem. I run at a speed of 20 feet per second and run 40 feet further in the same amount of time than Chad, who runs 17 feet per second. Find the distance each of us traveled. This time they're going feet. This works the same way as if it was miles. Okay, so distance, or no, speed goes here, distance is here, times here. So fast, slow. The speeds are the PERs, the PERs, 20 and 17. Now the distance is just the feet without the PER. 40 feet further, that means 40 more. So the fast one goes plus 40, but we still don't know, so we need the x. This is x, okay? Time, we know they travel for equal times, and time is distance divided by speed. So for the fast one, the distance we don't know. We have the expression x plus 40, and the speed is 20. We have the variable x and 17. Now line those up, set them equals. So x plus 40 over 20 equals x over 17. Okay, so let's go this way. So 1x times 20, that's easy, it's 20x. But on this way, we got to take 1x times 17. But then since there's a plus 40 with it, we got to take the 40 times 17. So it's 17x, and 40 times 17 is 680. X is on opposite sides, so again the one over here, minus 17x, minus 17x, so that's 3x, 680. Then I divide by 3. 680 divided by 3, go 227. So come up here, 227 miles, and then 227 plus 40 miles, so 227. And then 227 plus 40 is 267. Okay, last one. Two cars travel for the same amount of time. One car travels at a speed of 70 miles per hour. The other car travels at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. The fast car travels 60 miles further than the slow car. Find the distance traveled by each car. Okay, tables needed. So, speed, distance, time. Fast, slow. Okay, for the speed, you're looking for the PERs, 70 and 55. For the distance, you're just looking for miles. Now, it says a fast car travel. It doesn't say he traveled 60 miles. 60 miles further means the fast car goes plus 60 compared to this car. We don't know the actual distance for either one, so it's x plus 60 and x. Okay, then the time it traveled, we know the times are equal, and time can be expressed as distance divided by speed. That's why I had you do that one before. Okay, so distance x plus 60, speed 70, x 55. And then we have proportions, x, because we know the times are the same, so we make those ratios equal, forming a proportion. Okay. 70 times 1x is 70x. It's easy. Okay. Then we got to take 1x times 55, but then we have to go back. Don't forget about the 60. He needs to be times by 55 too. So it's 55x, and 60 times 55 I think is 330. 3,300. Missing a 0. So on this side we're going to have 55x plus 3,300. Okay, x is on opposite sides. Get your 55 out of there. Minus it. So it's 70 minus 55 is 15x. Then 3,300. Divide by 15. Divide by 15. 220. Then 220 and 220 plus 60. It's going to be 220 and 280. Camera's about dead. Do the two problems and take pictures and send it. Thank you.